There's one thing this city's taught me. You can put a price on anything. Secrets, reputations, a life. And trust? If you have to ask, you can't afford it. But then I suppose none of that matters when you're me. After all, when did I ever pay for anything?
Yes, I'm still doing these videos. It took me a while to get this one finished because I got a family, I got a job, and sometimes I just straight up didn't want to play the game anymore. I also got re-addicted to Valheim recently, so that sure as shit did not help at all. But nevertheless, we got it done. So why Thief? I don't know. I haven't played the game in like 7 or 8 years. I just really wanted to play it again. Also, apparently, I unlocked an achievement in Thief on the 360 in the year 1753. That is 270 years ago. Anyway, Thief has 37 achievements, a very small amount compared to Arkham Knight's 113. Of those 37 achievements, 14 are related directly to the main story. 10 are for doing some sort of specific task, not chapter specific. 2 for completing optional thieving objectives, which I will explain shortly. 3 for collectibles, 4 for side missions / secrets, 1 for the challenge mode, and 3 for completing the game under specific conditions. So this a-hole will require 2 playthroughs, since it's impossible to earn the achievements Health Hazard and a Moral Victory in the same playthrough. Also, I chose to play on Master difficulty, since you need to for one of the achievements. So to real quick explain what a thieving objective is, every chapter or client job has optional side objectives. For example, every single job in the entire game, chapter or not, has 2, one for finding all the loot items and 1 for remaining undetected. And then usually there's 1 or 2 other ones on top of those that accompany different play styles. For instance, the first 2 I explained were for the ghost play style. And then there's probably 1 for, like, I don't know, getting 1 kill with a headshot or knocking out 1 guy. And then 1 for just usually some random ass task like extinguishing 9 flames or something. The game opens with a prologue which serves to introduce mechanics of the game such as lockpicking and the shadow system. You also meet Garrett, the player character, as well as Aaron, who is honestly incredibly fucking annoying. Garrett can be a bit of a shitter too, I'm not gonna lie. Anyway, the prologue ends with Aaron being a fucking idiot and both of you guys passing out or dying. You also steal an item from Aaron called the Claw, which serves as a major mobility tool throughout the rest of the game. It's kind of cool, I guess. I don't know. Aaron kind of just flaunts it in your face the whole fucking time in the prologue, and it's seriously, she's really fucking annoying. After the prologue, you get immediately thrown into the first chapter, which the objective is to make your way to the clock tower, which serves as Garrett's main base or hub for the rest of the game. Chapter 1 is a pretty good chapter to try for the obsessive compulsive achievement, which is to steal all the loot in the chapter, which includes collectibles. The reason chapter 1 is perfect for this is because it's fairly linear. There's not like crazy amounts of loot in 7 different ways to get into one building, and you don't need any special tools to get the collectibles. More on those tools later. I tried and failed so many times to get this achievement here. Even using a guide, I somehow still managed to fucking miss like 1 or 2 items. whatever. I also got the All That Glitters achievement here, which is odd since there's only 4 collectibles in the chapter, but you need 5 for the achievement. I was also considering going for the Moral Victory achievement on my first playthrough, but this guy was kind of in my way, so that's out the window. The Quickly Pick a Lucky Lock achievement is for picking a lock in less than 5 seconds. Pretty easy to do on this cash register right here since it's only a 3-pronged lock. Also, stealing both of the masks will get you the Two-Faced achievement as well. After failing to get all the loot for the achievement for like the 6th time in a row, I just said fuck it and just continued on with my playthrough, netting me my 6th achievement. After chapter 1, you're tasked with finding a man named Basso, who honestly is the only likable character in the whole ass game. Everybody else is tolerable at best, although I will admit Basso and Garrett have pretty decent chemistry together.
You mangy bird. I swear one day I'm gonna have you made into a hat.
And lose the brains of the outfit.
Belongs to a guy named Cornelius Greaves, one of those hoity-toity types who doesn't have any shit on his boots. Here you go.
What's the catch?
He's dead.
I'm a thief, Basso, not a grave robber.
Only recently deceased. One of the guys standing up against the Baron and sticking up for normal people like you and me. Well, me, anyway.
But anyway, the game lets you roam around the city and steal shit at your leisure. Obviously, some areas are going to be blocked off until you progress the main story more, but that's understandable. Around the city, you'll find loose loot as well as some of the collectibles. Not all the collectibles are found within the main chapters. A good amount are in the open portions of the city, as well as in side mission specific areas. I should also mention that collectibles come in sets, so for example, these serpent bracelets are in a set of 6 named the Mortal Coils. Completing a set of collectibles will give you just like a lump sum of gold usually. The collectible sets are also displayed in the clock tower, which is pretty cool. Basso gives you a job to go steal a ring from some dead dude. I buy a tool from one of the merchants, and on your way through, you meet an old lady where you can donate money to upgrade your focus abilities, although I literally never fucking did this. Real quick, let me explain the focus ability as well as the tools. The focus ability is something you get after the events of the prologue, and it allows you to see lootable items which glow in blue when you use it, as well as later on you get to do things like pick locks in some Oblivion-esque minigame or pickpocket multiple things from the same person at once. So for chapter 2, you're stealing a ring from a dead guy in some foundry. Not much really happens, although Aaron contacts you like Cortana in Halo 3.
Garrett.
By the end of chapter 2, I have 8 achievements, one of those being mint condition for completing 3 chapters without taking any damage. I guess the prologue counts? I don't know. After chapter 2, I did some looting. I got the Happy Birthday achievement for putting out 16 candles, and eventually met with one of the 2 side mission dudes named Ector. Ector, as well as some guy in Southside, gives you what is known as client jobs, which are instanced side missions. So for chapter 3, you're stealing a book for a dude named Orion. You start out in a brothel, but then you end up in some old musty ass section of an old city. After you get the book and skedaddle, you discover that the Thief Taker General, who is the main antagonist of the game, had taken Basso to a sort of keep / prison or whatever the fuck. So we sneak in, we rescue Basso, then we go rob some big ass safe, take a little blue gem thingy, and we barely make it out alive as the safe falls fucking 40 stories or whatever, who knows. Chapter 5 is such a fucking curveball. Out of nowhere, the game just straight up turns into a psychological horror game. So we're in an abandoned asylum looking for Aaron, and seriously, it's one of the creepiest set pieces I've ever been in, especially in a game like this. The game has not a single horror game aspect up until this point, but this entire chapter is just straight up fucking creepy. There are 0 enemies in like the first 80% of the chapter, but you still hear voices.
There's a folk coming tonight.
footsteps, weeping angels. There's even a fucking lady staring at you from like across an entire hallway at one point. There's no reason for this shit to be in this game. There's no reason. When you first start the chapter, the game forces you to look through a peephole like at the front door, and then Aaron just fucking straight up jump scares you. There's no reason for this. After chapter 5, there is zero. It goes right back to a regular thieving game. Straight, there's no horror, nothing. No jump scares, never again. It's like it never even fucking happened. Towards the end of the chapter, you are fully introduced to a new enemy called the Freaks. I say fully because you kind of see them in one of the other chapters, but not really. Anyway, they're blind, they're pretty much invulnerable, and they're only weak to like light sources. But even then I found that to be kind of weird, like buggy. Just avoid them completely, I guess. You discover that the Baron has Aaron in custody, so to speak, and you make your way over to Northcrest Manor. Outside of the manor is quite big, and there's a few different ways to get in. But once you do get in, you make your way to the top and you confront the Baron. The Baron tells you that Orion is up to something kind of spicy, and the manor starts getting attacked by fanatics, like straight up terrorist attack style. It's kind of fucking crazy. Whatever, you make your way back down and you discover another shard of the Primal Stone. Once you steal it, the Thief Taker General shows up, of course, and you narrowly escape while the entire bridge is exploding and collapsing. After this chapter, I made absolutely sure to do everything I could possibly do before beating the game, because once you start chapter 7, you gotta beat the game, because chapters 7 and 8 are connected, and after 8, it just ends the game. You can actually free roam after beating the game, but I'm just kind of like fucking dumb, so I went around completing all the client jobs, all the Basso jobs. I completed as many of the optional thieving objectives as I could. I did the challenge mode achievement. I just went around and did fucking everything I could possibly do. So the challenge mode achievement that I mentioned, you have to get 5 million points. The easiest way to do this is to do the brothel level and the mode where you just go around and steal shit, and there's a multiplier and a timer and all that shit. Just knock out all the guards and run around and just steal all the stuff. And then once you leave, it should be well over 5 million points. 5 million is actually quite generous, to be honest. I didn't even get all the loot and I still got it. After I beat the game the first time, I only had 8 more achievements. Something to Prove, A Moral Victory, and Clear-Headed were going to be completed in a separate playthrough. The remaining 5 were Legend in Leather, What's Yours is Mine, Finders Keepers, Cash Dispenser, and Old Habits Die Hard. The easiest of these 5 was Old Habits Die Hard. For this one, you just need to go around the Asylum level, fucking great, and find 5 golden pocket portraits, which is just like a lootable item worth like 10 gold or whatever. That's it. That you just go pick them up. That's all it is. Super easy. Legend in Leather is for completing 25 optional thieving objectives, which required me to go back through and basically just play the chapters a little different, you know, knock out a couple guards here, fucking kill a few of them here. That kind of shit. What's Yours is Mine is for completing all of the collectible sets. So basically, just find all the collectibles. After you find your last collectible, the game just gives you 30,000 gold, which is very helpful for the next achievement, Cash Dispenser. For Cash Dispenser, you need to use 40,000 gold. So before you get the 30,000 from all the collectible sets, you need to have already spent, used, or at least have 10,000 gold. The last one here is Finders Keepers. For this one, you need to find all of the secret areas. Sounds easy enough, except the game never fucking tells you what a secret area is or how many there are. So good luck doing this one without a guide. Whenever you find a secret area, the game will play like a little audio chime. This is the only indication that you have discovered something like unique that isn't just a normal little area. The game doesn't tell you about these areas, it doesn't provide a counter for how many there are or anything, By the end of the game, I was only probably missing like 10 or so, since I had explored most of the city and most of the areas in the chapters. So I had to go back and play through entire chapters, like if I missed one secret area. There's also 73 of them, so yeah. For my final 3 achievements, I will be doing them on the custom difficulty setting. So what that is basically when you start a new game, it's just, you know, you're playing the game, but with certain added conditions that will add up to an amount of points. So for the something to prove achievement, that number has to be above 700. For that, I activated the no focus, stealth takedowns only, no reticle, special arrows only, 0 damage, expensive resources, no upgrades, no kills or knockouts, and no alerts. Doing this got me to 725, and the no kills or knockouts and no focus settings ensure that I complete a moral victory and clear-headed with 0 issues, since I literally can't fuck it up. Now all that was left was to beat the game again. The only real challenging part of this was the Thief Taker general fight, because once I got there, I didn't have any water arrows left to extinguish the torch that was literally right next to the exit door. So I had to pick a 5-prong lock fast enough for him to just not see me standing in the light like a fucking idiot. And with that, another game goes in the a-hole. Replaying Thief was honestly pretty fun, and without my motivation to even make these videos, I wouldn't have experienced it ever again, honestly. I never would have thought about it. But it's a pretty unique game, and if you've never tried it, I strongly encourage you to. It's pretty fun.